Well, it's another rain day. Back out here this afternoon at the shop. That's how much it's rained in the last 6 days. 9 inches. It's a muddy, wet mess. But the good thing is, my barn guy has got a drawing of my new shelter here. So the one on the right is that current shelter, and we're going to add a 40 by 96 from this corner all the way to the other side of the gooseneck trailer. Got to move the container. I thought I had it back far enough, but I don't. And we're going to add a big shelter all the way to right here. There's a little piddly flag. That'll be a corner. That'll add 4 14 by 40 foot bays, and let's see, 1 12 by 40 foot bay there, and then that'll put a 28 by 40 corner shop right there. We'll do a roll-up door so we can start putting our stuff in there, keeping it out of that way we completely enclose it and everything. So I think it's too wet to work anywhere. We may start doing the pad for this tomorrow. We'll see. Scrape some of this grass off. I think I'm just going to haul a bunch of crushed concrete in here and raise this up. I need about 3 feet on this low end, and there's just no dry dirt to be found anywhere. So yeah, gotta get all this crap cleaned up, scrape all this mess up, scrape some of this topsoil off, and start filling it in. I think Robert's gonna grab the forks and move this pipe out of the way. I don't know where we're gonna put it just yet. You need the steel pipe back to pick all these up with. Gotta teach him everything. That's heavy.
And big fucking back in there.
That fork is probably not happy right now. Huh? Oh boy, we've really bent the fork now. Maybe I didn't have both of them in there. Well, now we get to straighten it. Can't have nothing. How did I move it and never bend it? You bent it like 6 inches. Rough on it. Now what? Take it apart. Oh, so now we're gonna bend both of them. It's gonna poke a hole in it. I didn't have a problem. Look at my 4 forks. We need some blocks. We'll straighten it up. Well, that's better than the 8 inches it was. I think that's pretty good. Let's not try to move both of them again. You can take one of them out. Use the right. You want me to do it? I'll do it. I'll break it. Okay, I can break it. What a nasty, muddy day. But I do have to give a shout out to Brunt. These boots are going on almost a year old, and I can still walk around in the mud and still have dry feet. Did you know that Brunt also makes pants and shirts? Have to check that out. Had to pull out the pants today. It's a little bit chilly. So here's the boots. They're going on a year old. Shout out to them. They're holding up well. Still got plenty of tread left on them. I've never really had a pair of boots last more than a year, let alone a year, and still be able to walk in mud and water and keep dry feet. So yeah, shout out to Brunt. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it. These boots have held up great. For over a year, I'm happy with it. And I am hard on a pair of boots. I do a lot of grading with my feet, and I walk through a lot of mud going to the job sites. So if you'd like to save $10 on your next order, you need to head on over to bruntworkwear.com/letsdig10. I'll help you out and put a link in the description. You can get you some boots, some pants, some shirts, whatever you'd like. That is bruntworkwear.com/letsdig10. I'll see you on the next one. All right, load number 1 of crushed concrete for the new shop pad. So I got a friend of mine that has a concrete crushing place. So I'm getting some from him. It should work pretty good for building the base. We might have to get up there and shovel out around that dog box. Load number 2. There we go. All right, well, I'm gonna start cleaning the rest of this stuff up, strip this grass off, and go ahead and spread this out so when he gets back with some more, we got more room to dump it. Well, I got a lot of this stuff moved out of here. All the concrete blocks, pipe, and everything. I got to take these 2 trees down. They're gonna be too close to the edge of the building. I'm gonna leave that holly tree and leave that big white oak for right there. So yeah, let me set the camera up, see if we can drop those real quick. I better get to stripping some grass off. Ta-da! It just keeps sticking up there a little bit. And I'll shovel it out tomorrow. All right, let's strip some more of this grass off. Probably use it for the back slope back there. Start getting this fill in here. Still got to move that stuff, but I got all of this stuff stripped and build an outside perimeter with the topsoil. I want to finish scraping that right there. Go ahead and put some crushed concrete, fill that hole in just in case we do get some rain. There's a chance of it. That won't become a pond right there. hard to run a roller one-handed. Soft, but it should pack up. Well, that was load number 6, 120 tons, and I still need probably 5 or 6 more. So sending him back to go get one more. I think we can get 3 more tomorrow before he goes out of town. Yeah, might have to finish hauling the rest of it myself, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll this in. We'll see how far that next load gets. Maybe I can start filling that section in right there. Probably need to set the laser up and check it and kind of see what all I'm working with. All right, we're over here at the crushed concrete pile. I'm gonna fire up the old loader here, and I beat everybody to work this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and load the truck for Robert. I loaded the first load this morning. It rained again last night. It is wet. Oh, that's good. Didn't stick in there too bad. You can definitely tell the low spots here, which I didn't have enough to finish anyways. But it wasn't supposed to rain like it did last night. Anywho, I'm going to spread this out. Well, that's 12 loads. I'm going to roll that in. Still about 4 inches low on that back side. All this seems pretty close right here. Robert has left for his 10-day trip, so it's gonna be me for the next week and a half, but I managed to carry on. So I went and got that last load to finish this up. So let me go ahead and roll this in. We'll spread that last load out, roll that in, and the new shop pad should be done, other than this little area right here that I got to cut out once I move all this stuff. And there we have it. The new shop pad is done. Still a couple wet spots from all that rain we had, but I'll keep touching it up and rolling it in this week as it dries out. And being crushed concrete, that should set back up into almost like concrete again. So I think that'll work well. I'm going to check grades, but I think everything's pretty close. May need one more load just to touch everything up at the end before they do concrete, but that may be a month before they do concrete. And I think the building's like 2 to 3 months out. So I got time, but I did have time this week, so I wanted to go ahead and get this knocked out because we are about to be very, very busy.